Welcome to Freedom Cast, where your hosts, Jordan and Miranda, show you how to get just a little bit more out of life. Are you ready to leave normal behind?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Freedom Cast. Today we have a very special guest, and her name is Kelly Holtman. We are very excited to have her on our show today. We are going to talk about her involvement with Juice Plus, how she tries to raise her kids in a healthy way, and all the other fun activities that she's part of. We actually got to meet her during our Camp Gladiator workout, and we've built a good friendship from there. So without further ado, here is our interview with Kelly.
We will get started here. Thank you, Kelly, for coming on our show.
Sure.
Is your last name Holtman?
Holtman. Yes, it's Holtman. Yes.
Cool.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Freedom Cast. We very much appreciate you taking time out of your Friday night to join us on this show. If you just want to give us a little bit about yourself, just to briefly start us out and maybe just how you met us and go from there. We'll actually we'll have already recorded a little intro for how we know you, but if you want to just give us a little brief introduction.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm a mom and a wife. I have two children, a daughter who's 8.5 and a son who is 6. So they keep me very busy. But now that it's back to school, I'm a little bit less busy than I was during the summer. So that's nice. And I'm a wife to my husband, Mark. We've been married for 11 years and known each other for 15 years. And I met you two lovely people at Camp Gladiator. So, getting our, what? CG, what? Getting our fitness on, running up some, what are they? The parking garage decks and flipping tires and doing all that fun stuff. So it was just great to meet you guys. Just thought you guys had such great energy from the first day I met you. And, but yeah, so that's who I am. I am a mom and wife first, as I said, but, I am very passionate about, certain things, one of which is health and wellness. So that's what I do when, my kids are in school, when I have stolen moments throughout the day, I really focus on my business and I focus on helping people, realize that being healthy is very attainable and it's very simple. It can be very simple. So that's kind of my background. I love what I do and I love that I get to be a mom and not miss anything that my kids are doing, and I can volunteer when I want to, and I have that freedom. So
yeah, that's great. So can you tell us just a little bit about the hobbies you like to do when, you're not, being a mom or,
yes,
running a business or whatever it is. So just, what you like to do for fun.
So yeah, certainly. I love tennis. I've always loved tennis. I actually don't play as much as I used to, although it is a goal of mine to get back into playing tennis a lot. I love watching it. I love playing it. It's just one of those things that makes me really happy.
Kelly, we definitely should play.
Oh, awesome. You play?
Yes. I've been teaching Miranda for the past few years and
no way.
She loves it.
Oh,
still learning, but she's very athletic. So,
it's
getting it.
That's awesome. I can totally see you picking it up fast, Miranda. And it's one of those things too. You can play till you're 85 if you're healthy enough,
And Jordan's he's always played, so he's just on a totally different level than I am.
Right, which isn't always fun to be on the receiving end.
Exactly.
I know. I totally get it. But yeah, my family knows, like, if Wimbledon's on, if US Open's on, mommy has the clicker, and I'm watching my tennis, and they're like, more tennis, mom, like, so boring. I'm like, no, it's not. It's the best sport ever. So that's one thing. I don't devote as much time as I'd like to playing right now. But that's the plan. That's an absolute plan. And I love yoga. Yoga is one of those things that I haven't been doing super long. It's been about a year and a half. And I try to at least do it twice a week. If I can do it 3 times a week, that's amazing. And I do it more for my mental mentality and my emotions than I do for physical fitness. I feel more centered and I feel more grounded after I do yoga. So I prefer hot yoga. So if you've ever done hot yoga, it's 104 degrees. And you are, around a bunch of sweaty people.
I've always wondered about hot yoga.
Well,
is it still as enjoyable if you're around a bunch of sweaty people?
You know what? You are just in the zone. That doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You know what? You should come with me sometime. It's right at Melting Point, which is right down the street from where we meet up at Birkdale for our workouts.
Oh yeah. Try.
It's great. It's awesome.
I've never heard of hot yoga.
Really?
I think it's cold yoga too. Is there?
I don't. That's a good.
I'm not even kidding. I'm really wondering.
No, that's a good question. I don't know if there's necessarily a cold yoga. I know there's a non-hot. So, in other words, room temperature. But I mean, you never know. In Iceland or something, there could be a cold yoga. But I would do yoga in any temperature, to be honest. But I prefer hot yoga. But no, it's a good detoxing thing. So that's my go-to these days is yoga. I'm very passionate about personal development and not only my own, but helping others with their own personal development and just trying to get to our most authentic self. And it's been a journey for me. I've not always been this way, but I've come to find that through yoga, through my business with Juice Plus, I've come to this place where it's very important to me to just become better and better. Nutrition, obviously, that goes without saying. It's a hobby of mine, and it's kind of silly to say, but that's a hobby of mine. To make good snacks and healthy foods for my family. And gardening, and not dirt gardening as much as aeroponic gardening. I really have enjoyed, which is 5 years. If you asked me 5 years ago if I would enjoy gardening, that I would have laughed in your face. But I love it now because it's growing healthy food and it's just more of what we need every day. So those are my hobbies.
That's awesome. Can you explain a little bit more about the gardening? Because I know you've talked to us before and it's just a really cool concept. Yeah.
So the company the business that I have, we have 4 products. And I'm what you call an independent distributor of the Juice Plus company. So they're an international company, and there's distributors that basically share the products because we're super passionate about them. And one of our products, we only have 4 as of right now. It's going to be 5 next month, but 4 right now. It's called a tower garden, and it's a vertical aeroponic garden that's 2.5 feet wide. And about 5 feet tall. And the idea behind it is that it's dirtless and it's weedless. So it's one of those things that can be done in cities. If somebody has a balcony with an outlet, they can have their own garden. It's really becoming an up and coming way of growing because it uses 10% of the water of your traditional gardens, and it uses 10% of the space. So it's a very green, sustainable product, and it's finding its ways in schools. And in fact, I'm working now to get a couple in my children's elementary school, which is super exciting. And it's, in New York City, we have there's restaurants that have little micro urban farms where these tower gardens provide the greens and some of the vegetables for the restaurant. So if you go to O'Hare Airport, you'll see like 40 of them. They provide all of the greens to the restaurants in O'Hare. It's booming. And although dirt gardening is just fine and dandy, and in fact, it's, some people absolutely love it, this is a good complement to it. And also a different alternative to gardening. It makes it just easier. And that's what we're all about. We want, in this day and age, things are fast paced, and people just go for what's convenient. And our products make it simple, and it makes it convenient to get nutrition. So that's what the tower garden is. And that's kind of when I got my tower garden, about 3.5 years ago, that's when I started to love doing it because it was just so easy. So, yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I think for a lot of people, they get really caught up in, that's a lot of work for a garden. I know we live in an apartment. We just have a balcony. So
yeah,
just being able to do that. A lot of people just can't. They don't have the space or a yard. So
exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
So cool. I feel like I love the show because I've been learning stuff. I never would have thought that was a thing. Ever.
It is a thing.
Now he knows about hot yoga. And
learned 2 things. This is great.
Oh boy, this is cool.
All kinds of stuff.
So I know this is something you were saying you just kind of recently got into, the self-improvement. And I feel like Jordan and I have also kind of been on that path of, just constantly growing and learning. But would you say you've always had a healthy lifestyle, or is that something you just recently kind of, came into, or was that something that you grew up in, or?
I laugh because no, I'm the youngest of 7 kids. And so you could say I was a little bit spoiled, but it was more like my mom just wanted to spend a lot of time with me because I was the last one. She knew I was going to be the last one. So I can't say every day after school, but I want to say 3 times a week after school, she would take me to McDonald's. And we'd have our fries and cheeseburger, and if I wanted a milkshake, so no, I did not grow up eating healthy. I can't say we were the most unhealthy people on the planet, but we certainly weren't the healthiest. My mom cooked most meals at home, most dinners, but we didn't have the emphasis on it like I do now. Getting older into my teenage years, definitely didn't eat great. I was always athletic. I was in sports. And so knowing what I know now, I probably could have done a lot better. And it would have done me a lot, very, very good in terms of recovery and my performance. And honestly, through my 20s and my early 30s, I can't say I was super healthy. I bought muffins at Dunkin' Donuts all the time on my way to work. And I had Five Guys burgers at least once a week. It just wasn't a priority for me. So kind of that leads me into, when did this start? And it was about 4 years ago is when, 4 or 5 years ago was when I really started to have that kind of change of thinking in my life. Do you want me to kind of go into that, Miranda, in terms of what caused that, or?
Yeah, I would love to hear what kind of triggered that change in your life. Even people who aren't, completely unhealthy, just how does that kind of switch where you realize that's something that's important and something you want to prioritize in your life?
Yeah. So, honestly, it's been becoming a mom. Like I said, I have an 8.5-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son, and my 8.5-year-old daughter, she was a very sick baby, sick toddler, sick young child, really up until the age of 4. She caught everything that went around. She had chronic sinus infections, environmental allergies, you name it. She caught the bug. She was just, her immune system was not very good. And I kind of attribute that to when I was pregnant with her. I didn't eat super healthy. I worked night shift, so it was stressful. I wasn't getting probably the proper rest. So looking back, I can understand that. Now, when she was like 2.5, it was starting to be like enough's enough. Like, I don't want to give her another dose of antibiotics. She was on rounds and rounds of antibiotics, and it just was not a good thing. So I heard about a chiropractor. They said, I was talking to some friends and they said, I've heard chiropractor might help out with sinus infections and ear infections. And so I decided, as a mom, when you're in that position and you're just kind of desperate, you'll try anything. And before that time, I never thought of a chiropractor as you hear witch doctor, you hear, the naysayers and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. Not thinking much is going to happen. Well, her congestion improved. I mean, it just, everything about the chiropractor made sense for Brooke and for myself in terms of getting her started on that journey to getting back to a healthy point. And so it's been a journey. It's been little steps along the way. At the chiropractor is where I learned about Juice Plus. We were walking in one day and who is now my sponsor, was there at a table, and she was offering the smoothies and the gummies, because we have capsules and gummies, and I will explain what Juice Plus is too. But anyways, my kids ran over and loved everything, and that's when I learned about Juice Plus, and then we incorporated Juice Plus into our diet, and then a little bit later, we started to eat more vegetables, and then it's been these incremental steps, and it all stemmed from the fact that I had a very sick kid, and I knew that we had to make some changes.
Gotcha. So that's kind of cool to hear that once you had kids, that's kind of what triggered you to, make that lifestyle switch.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. About how you have been kind of instilling that in your children to have that healthy lifestyle. Yeah. What kind of ways do you try to, educate them and show them how to eat healthy, how to, be active and not sit in front of the TV all day?
Yeah. I'm not perfect, and it's one of those things that we just do the best we can. But the one thing I know for sure is that I need to lead by example, and I need to show them, I need to be in it, and I need to show them what it looks like for them to model it someday. They're young still, so it's I can control some more things. I can still control what they eat at home, and but I know there's going to come a day when they're going to get older and they're going to have more choices, and I'm not going to be there to be like, no, you can't eat that. And I'm just hoping, and I'm trusting that what I'm doing and what I'm showing them is going to somehow sink in, so that they can make those wise decisions, not be perfect, because none of us are perfect, but know why they're choosing to eat the apple versus the I don't know, candy apple, the one without caramel with the one caramel. I don't know. So yeah. And I live in a nice community, like a neighborhood where there's lots of little kids, and there's a lot of boys around, and they all get together like a little herd of kids running from house to house. But our house tends to be like the central point where everyone kind of convenes, and my husband loves it, let me tell you. But I do love it because it shows me that they like being in my house, first of all, and I can have control over snacks. So I will feed the neighbor kids like for the tower garden, and I'll like chop up some apples and feed them. So things like that, where I'm like, it's cool to be healthy, guys. Like this is going to make you feel like, this is going to make you feel awesome. You're going to play. My son loves baseball. And I just tell him, if you want to be awesome at baseball, you just keep eating this stuff, because it's going to make you stronger than everyone else, So just doing things like that. They take part in our tower garden. They help me plant. They help me pick. It's truly like, if kids are involved in the growing process, they will be more likely to actually eat the end product. And leading by example too, because honestly, health is not just about nutrition. It's about self-love. It's about spirituality to me. It's about just taking care of ourselves, mind, body, and soul. And for me, it's doing yoga and taking that time for myself, and them seeing me do that and taking care of myself, I feel like is truly important.
Yeah, Kelly, I definitely think that, from what we see, you set a very good example. I saw the picture. I showed Miranda the picture of where you had this huge snack tray for all your kids, and it looked like all the neighbors' kids as well. I think you shared that on Facebook probably a while ago now, but I thought that was so cool. I had to share. I was like, look what she did. Isn't that awesome? I was like, Miranda, I want one of those. Can you make me one?
Yeah, was it like the cupcake tin? Is that the one that I showed you?
I think so. Yes.
Where I had like a dip. It's so cute. Yeah. Well, with kids sometimes, like if anyone's listening that has kids, it's like sometimes it's all about the display, and it's just how you display things. Sometimes you just put it out there for them, and they're like, oh, okay, munch on that, and they don't even think about it. They just put it in their mouth because it looks pretty,
Yeah, that's really cool. I know for me, my biggest struggle is I'm a lazy eater, so I just want to grab whatever's like.
Oh yeah, no, I hear you. I have those moments as well.
I'm I'm just going to grab this cookie because that's easy.
Yeah. That's the way of our world, and that's why I love what I do, is because it doesn't have to be complicated. Right. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've already touched on it a little bit, but can you tell us more about Juice Plus and kind of all the things that Juice Plus offers?
Absolutely. Okay, so Juice Plus, everyone thinks it's a juice, but it's not. It actually came about, it's a little over 22 years old, the product. It came about because juicing at the time it came out was super popular, and it still is, but it was super popular. It was like kind of breakthrough thing. I mean, I'm sure people did it before then, but at that point it was really trendy to do. And the CEO of our company, the president of our company, found this product, and the story behind it's amazing. I'm not going to really go into it. Basically, the guy, I'll just touch on it. The guy who created Juice Plus was helping his father who was dying of cancer. And he was thinking, how am I going to get this stuff in him? He wasn't drinking, so juicing was not an option. And he was a doctor. So he actually went ahead and did what he did to make Juice Plus. So what Juice Plus is it's raw vine-ripened fruits and vegetables in a capsule or in a chewable form. You know, I like to call it a salad bar in a capsule. So it's actually the most researched nutritional product on the planet, which is pretty impressive. It has over 35 different clinical research studies on it. But the real reason I truly love Juice Plus is that, you know, as a society, we don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. We're supposed to get, believe it or not, we're supposed to get 7 to 13 different fruits and vegetables raw every single day. If you're an athlete, it's more like 16 to 18. So I haven't met a single person who can do that day in and day out. They have one good day, and then the next few days they can't do it. So this is a way for them to bridge the gap. So it's bridging the gap between what we should eat and what we don't. So like, you know, we either can't, we won't, or we aren't just going to, you know, whether we don't like vegetables, or we just can't physically eat that much. So it's a great product. And that's one of our products. That's our first product. That's kind of like our foundational product, we say. We also have the Tower Garden, which I already talked about. And then we also have a plant protein. We're all about plants. So we have a plant protein smoothie mix that comes in 2 different flavors, vanilla and chocolate. And I have it every morning for breakfast and whip it up in my blender. And we actually have a new product coming out next month for plant-based omegas. So that's what Juice Plus is, kind of in a nutshell. And the way they process it is they pick the fruits and vegetables, they juice them, and it's more like blending. It's more like a slurry, because one of the differences between juicing and Juice Plus is that we use the skin, we use the seed, because that's where the main nutrition is. So it's a slurry because they're just taking that whole orange and they're with peel and all, and they're putting it in there. And then they dehydrate it at a very low temperature so you don't interrupt the nutritional value, and then they concentrate it in a capsule or gummy. So that's kind of in a nutshell what it is.
That sounds really cool. And I think at least for me, when you were describing that, I was thinking of the fact that Miranda and I both like to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but at the same time, I don't think we're getting anywhere near. I didn't realize you needed that many servings per day. I don't even know how we would do that, because we have frozen vegetables. We always try to have bananas and apples around, but I feel like that's something that's really needed, because it's just really, it's really difficult. Even, like you said, even if you're concentrating and really, okay, I'm gonna make sure to eat my fruits and vegetables every day, that's still not easy unless you're constantly snacking on some broccoli or something.
Absolutely. And so here's the key too. I didn't mention it's 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries in Juice Plus. 30 different. So the key is not necessarily quantity. It is, because you need 7 to 13, but the real key with good nutrition is the variety. So getting the color, you always hear, eat the color of the rainbow. Well, you're getting 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries in Juice Plus. Now, the reason behind that is because, you know, a tomato has different nutrients than an onion, and broccoli has different nutrients than asparagus, or, you know, artichoke, and bilberries have different than grapes. So all those work together to create optimal health in our bodies, and we just don't get enough of it. I mean, so you can imagine, you know, I have this visual, I obviously can't show you, but I have this visual of everything that's in Juice Plus, and I ask people, like, how do you think you would feel if you ate all these every single day? And of course they say, I would probably feel great. You know, if they have a health condition, it probably would get a little better. And we don't make any claims, but they just kind of can assume that nutrition is going to help. Good nutrition is going to help. So yeah, for sure.
Kelly, is that image something is it like something you have on your computer that I could put it into our show notes?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
That'd be cool. I'll make a note and ask you afterward. But if you send me that, I'll put it right in our show notes when we're talking about this. And
perfect.
Yeah, and then that way that we kind of do that as a reference for people. If we mention any links or and for that reason too, if we have any images that would be helpful for people, they can either check it out later or kind of have it going while they're listening to the podcast if they want. Just because of the nature of a podcast, you're not always able to have something right next to you, or not always able to go in and type in a link or something. So that's that's kind of why we've been doing that. But I think that would be a perfect opportunity to throw.
Yeah, it is. It's a great visual. I mean, it's just really cool to see. Yeah.
Cool.
And I wanted to mention too, kind of a fun fact. I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff, so it's probably not fun for everyone listening. So if you remember, like 10 years ago, it used to be 3 to 5 fruits and vegetable servings per day. If you guys remember that, like 3 to 5, and then it was 5 to 7. Well, now it's 7 to 13. And do you guys know why it's increased? Do you know why it's gotten that we need to eat more and more?
No, didn't they like change like the food pyramid to like a different shape or something?
They did. It's a plate now. It's a plate.
Circle or something.
But so it's a plate now, and it's like half of it should be fruits and vegetables, and so and sadly in our country, ketchup is counted as a fruit or vegetable, so which is pretty sad. But
I know it's bad, but I love it.
Oh my gosh,
I know it's bad. I shouldn't eat it.
Oh, I love ketchup too. My son literally, it's like a problem. He likes ketchup on his ketchup. There's a shirt that I saw that someone had. I like ketchup on my ketchup. I need to get it. It's pretty funny. Sounds like you need one too, Jordan.
Yeah, I should need one. The most recent bottle we had is already gone, and I just like have it on the list, and I'm like, I shouldn't buy it again because like I should not have gone through that as quickly as I did.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Baby steps. It's all about.
I've always loved it. My family still gives me a hard time about this picture they took of me at Fenway Park when I was a little kid.
All right, Fenway.
Yes.
No socks.
I had basically I had fries with my ketchup. I dumped ketchup in there, and they still had a picture, and I get a hard time about that pretty much every time I get together with my family. That's
great. That's awesome. You and my son will get along well then. Be like a ketchup feast. But no, so the real reason it's gotten that we need to eat more is because the nutritional density in foods is not what it used to be. So because soil's depleted and we're just not getting like one apple is 50 years ago is now like 20 apples. So to get what we used to get in one apple, we have to eat like 20 apples now. And I don't know if that's accurate. It's probably more like 10, but depending on the produce, depending on like if it's lettuce, it's crazy how much more we have to eat to get the same amount of stuff. And the quality is not the way it used to be either. So, so that's it. As you can tell, I'm kind of excited and passionate about it.
Yeah, and that's great. That's what this show is about. That was one of the reasons we wanted to bring you on, because we knew you were passionate about it, and we just want to help people find that passion. And totally. It sounds like you're very, very much into it, which is really cool. Yeah. With Juice Plus, is there any place that people can go to find out more information about it, or should we direct them to talk to you? Or if someone hears this and says that's cool, where could they go to look up more about it? Yeah,
absolutely. I do have my own website. It's a little bit overwhelming, so I prefer if somebody just reaches out to me and I can shoot them a video, so like a short video if they want to check out more about Juice Plus. We do have one thing I wanted to mention is we do have something called the Children's Health Study. So for every adult that orders Juice Plus for themselves, they can sponsor a child to get their own Juice Plus for free. And that's a child that's 4 years up until the end of college, full-time college student. They absolutely free Juice Plus, which is amazing. So over 1 million kids have benefited from this free program. So that's something, like for instance, that would be something I would talk about. So they can email me. Do you want me to say that right now, or do you want me to kind of give it to you as an email, like in text?
We can do both if you're comfortable with getting it out on this. That's totally fine. Sure.
Okay, it's Kelly Holtman, so KELLY HOLTMAN 1 as in number 1 at gmail.com. So you can email me there, and that's a good way to get a hold of me, and we can kind of just connect from there.
Awesome. That's great. So I kind of wanted you to maybe just tell a little bit about your favorite parts about working with Juice Plus and kind of working from home, and then kind of the challenging parts and the parts that can be a little more difficult.
Yeah, for sure. So my absolute favorite part is that I get to still be a stay-at-home mom, and I still get to volunteer at school. Like I said, I have that time freedom. It wasn't always like that. Like before I had kids, I had your typical 9-to-5 job. Actually, it was more like 7 to 5. But so that's my absolute favorite part, because ever since I had my babies, I wanted to be able to stay home with them and not miss a single moment of their lives. And so I've been very fortunate to be able to do that. So that's my favorite part. My other favorite part is the fact that I don't have a boss. I am my own boss. I can set my own schedule. If one particular week I have a lot going on otherwise in my personal life, I don't have to, I can just do the bare minimum of what I want to do. So it's really having that freedom. And then the next week, if I have more time, I can put more time into my business. That's my favorite part, because one of my values is freedom, and it encompasses a lot of different things. But I've always, when I worked in my previous jobs before I had kids, I was in more managerial jobs. It never felt right to me. I liked the people I worked with, but it just didn't feel like me. I didn't feel like it was me. I wasn't enjoying it. And I didn't really know why. I didn't know why. And I kind of do now that I'm doing something I love, I know what it is. I didn't like having a boss telling me when to come to work, when to leave. I didn't like having a set schedule. I didn't like the fact that whether I did 150% or I did 100%, I was still getting the same salary. Whereas this job, I can, if I'm going to put 150% in it, I'm going to get rewarded 150%, not just monetarily, but, just the lives that I'm going to change. So, it comes down to freedom, really, is what I love. And I love the fact that I get to help people, not just health wise, but I get to help people, with their own businesses if they want to do what I'm doing, and sharing the product and being able to say no to a 9-to-5 job if that's what they want to do. And I even have some team members who, they still work a 9-to-5 job, and they do this in the stolen moments, after work late at night or whatever, and weekends. So just helping people, I just love being able to help. That's kind of what it comes down to. And the tough parts, honestly, I can't say there's a lot of difficult parts of what I do, other than the fact that during the summer when my kids are home, it tends to be a little more challenging to get stuff done. But they are old enough now to kind of know, like, when mommy needs to work, I just let her be, but you can help me out with certain things, and then we'll go do something fun with you. So it's not challenging. I guess the industry of network marketing sometimes can have a negative stigma on it. So I've learned to have tough skin and just believe in what I'm doing. And not everyone's going to think that what I'm doing is for them or is cool. And I just don't care. I just know what I'm doing is really a good thing. So I can't say there's anything that's super difficult about what I do. Really.
Hey, that's great. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
And the whole time you were talking about not wanting a boss and everything, Jordan's over here just nodding his head up and down, like, amen, sister.
Amen. Totally. Yeah.
He's been loving the freedom he's had since.
Oh, good. That's awesome. So. Very cool. I know, it's great. It's great. I mean, if anyone has that entrepreneurial spirit in them, it's very freeing when you can step away from a boss and become your own. So.
Yeah, I've been slowly instilling that in Miranda, and she was having a hard time even when we were off, because she wanted to get back to work. She's like, I need something to do, but at the same time, I'm slowly working in that entrepreneurial. I'm rubbing off on her. She's like, okay, I'm starting to get it now. I think, I don't want to have a boss. Like, I understand this. She's like, what have you done to me?
There's a book called Flip Flop CEO, and it's all about being able to do your business in your flip flops. And that's so me. Like, I just, be comfortable but at the same time, I respect, like, if somebody loves what they do and they have a boss, I mean, good for them, more power to you. We're all different, but if anyone has that urge inside of them and like that feeling like me when I worked for my company of a feeling of like this isn't right, then there's other options. So
yeah, that's great. So could you actually give a piece of advice to any of our listeners that may be feeling kind of stuck or feeling like, they're kind of trapped in the 9 to 5? Do you have any advice for them, just of a way to kind of, gain that the perspective?
Yeah. So I really feel like this day and age, people they have like a side hustle is like what the term is. And so even if you're a busy parent and you have this 9 to 5 job, or even if you're not a parent, it's possible. There are plenty of hours in the day. I saw some statistic, like you work 40 hours, you sleep, I guess it was like 7 hours a night. And then there's all this other time, there's time, we always say we're so busy, we have no time, but there is time if we prioritize. So I would just say if there's any sort of like in your heart, in your gut, a feeling of I really want to do this, like this may be something that could really bring me some satisfaction and some happiness and feeling like you're just kind of chained down to something that you don't necessarily love, that you don't have to settle. I mean, and it doesn't have to be something like I do. It can be, anything. If your passion is to exercise and be a personal trainer, like there's just, the sky's the limit. I think we so often put limits on ourselves because we feel like we can't do it or we're fearful. And in fact, I don't know if you guys, I did share this on Facebook. Jim Carrey did this inauguration. He was at a college graduation.
Yes,
He did. Yeah. Yes. That would be, that would be cool. I can't think of the word. What is the word? Commemoration speech? Commencement. Yeah. So it was like this most inspirational speech. Like honestly, probably one of the top 5 best speeches I've ever heard in my life. And one of the things he said several amazing things, but one of the things he said is that, you can fail at what you don't love to do. So you might as well do something you do love to do. You might as well go for it. Right. And his whole thing was, he was talking about his dad, who could have been an awesome comedian. And he decided to be an accountant because it was the safe conservative choice. But when Jim Carrey was 12 years old, his father got laid off. And so that was one of the values his dad taught him, is like, go for what you love, because you can fail at what you don't love. So why waste your time doing it? So, pretty cool. I mean, so that's what I would say is just, go on a limb, you don't have to live in this restricted bubble,
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know, I love what you said about the prioritizing your time, because Jordan and I, in the month of August, we said we're not going to watch any TV in August. And we snuck a few episodes of The Office in at the end.
That's funny.
It was just kind of cool to see how much time you really do have during the day.
Totally.
If you cut out the excess, the stuff that really isn't helping you move forward at all. So that was definitely a cool thing.
Yeah, but The Office, I think, is worthy of some time in your life, right? So you gotta
you can't live without it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of my advice, I guess. But sometimes it's just a matter of like something happening in your life to direct you on that course, or somebody coming in your life that helps you get you into where you want to be. So it's not all about doing it within ourselves. Other people can help out too. So
all right, well, awesome, Kelly. I think that just about wraps up our time. So
all right,
thank you so much for coming on our show and doing that. I will touch base with you afterward and get that image, and then we'll make sure we get your email in there and everything for our show notes.
Okay, great.
Thank you for coming on and spending your Friday night with us. We very much appreciate it.
I appreciate you asking me to do this. This was awesome. This was my very first time doing any sort of podcast interview. So thank you for asking me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you guys for listening to that episode with Kelly Holtman. Miranda and I very much enjoyed interviewing her and getting to know her a little bit better. I'm glad that you stuck around till the end. If you enjoyed this episode and if you've liked this podcast so far, please go to iTunes and leave us a review. We would very much appreciate it. Thank you again so much for listening, and we hope you have a fantabulistic day.